Alright, so this is going to be a trip report. And this is not going to be a fun, whatever the fuck, trip report. Because usually I make a disclaimer, and usually, honestly, the disclaimer is really for YouTube. Like, has nothing to do with whatever. Like, but in this video, this disclaimer is genuinely coming from me. Do not fucking use any fucking opiate pills. Fuck those shits. That's why Kratom exists. But to get to the point here, I want to talk about the time where I could have fucking died and I had no fucking clue. I had no idea that I could have died. You know, this is the story where I overdosed on either fentanyl or heroin. So I've never taken these things intentionally. There was a time in my life before I started using psychedelics where I would use pills once in a while. I would just, you know, maybe I'd sniff a pill here and there, or do my thing, or maybe pop a pill here and there, and it'd be the Percocet, Vicodin, Valium, Gabapentin, Lyrica. It didn't really matter. I was switching off between whatever, just pharmaceutical drugs, anything that basically got me high, right? So I was getting used to like having a Percocet. So I used to have a studio, and I would record people's music in my studio. My studio was in the basement. At this time of my life, I ended up like breaking up with the girl I was with. So then I ended up having to move back in with my mom. So I moved the studio back, you know, it was just in my room, right? There was we didn't have like the basement, we didn't have anything. It was just the studio booth in my room with my computer and, you know, my microphone, and that was that, right? So people would still come over and make music. It just wasn't as big of a space as we were used to in the basement. So we were all just, you know, I would have people just come over, and sometimes people just, you know, come over and, you know, give me a Percocet, give me a Vicodin here or there, and like, they were like, well, the Percocet will last 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours, so they'd be like, well, just give me like 4 hours of making this music, and then if you need another one, I got you, or if you need some money, I got you, if you need whatever, I got you, right? People would just give me drugs, money, and weed to record music. So I was doing that. So fast forward like months later, there was a bunch of people at my house, and I'm not going to mention his name, but it was an old friend of mine, and he was like used to sniffing pills all the time, right? He had a bottle of pills, right? So I ended up going to the bathroom, and when I come back, these pills were crushed on the table, okay? And there was 2 lines separated, one for him, one for me. He was telling me, you know, go easy on it, it's strong. And I was saying, well, isn't it just I think it was like a Vic 10 or something like that. And I was like, I have done Vicodins before, and I have sniffed a whole one before. So I was like, I'll be fine. So I ended up sniffing half of this pill, and before I knew it, I'm sitting there like, I basically lost consciousness. Like, this is long before, I didn't even know what opioids were. I had no idea that you could overdose on opiates. I had no fucking clue that, I just was extremely uneducated on what I was doing. I didn't even know there was fake pills at all. This is long before I got educated on drugs. So I ended up sniffing half of this pill, and I ended up like kind of like just in the doze off stage of the opioids, right? And I was in my head freaking out because I was wondering why I couldn't stay awake. I fought it and fought it and fought it. In my head, that was the strongest battle I have ever had in my head, because I feel like if I wasn't as mentally strong as I am, I would have died. Like, it's not a joke. Like, I had no fucking clue. Like, I'm sitting there thinking I'm just about to do a Vicodin that makes some music, then whatever. No, I do this Vicodin. I got a room full of fucking people waiting for me to, like, record and master and do my thing. And I'm just sitting there just dozing off, and I couldn't even stay awake. I couldn't stay conscious. I couldn't stand. I sat down on my bed next to my girl at the time, and she was freaking out. Everyone was freaking out. Before I sniffed this pill, I hit up my dude to come over, and he was going to bring some weed. And he came over. He had a rolled Dutch, and I vaguely remember him in and out. Like, I was literally just dozing in and out of consciousness. And I remember it was hard to breathe. It wasn't necessarily hard to breathe, because at the time, it felt like, I don't know how to explain it. I felt so numb that I couldn't, like, if I wasn't breathing, I couldn't feel it. I couldn't feel anything. I don't know how to explain it. So dude comes in, and he has the Dutch, and that was the very first time I have ever turned down weed. Ever. So everyone in the room was like cussing out the dude that crushed up the pills, basically saying like, what the fuck did you give him? Like, they were about to beat his ass. Like, they're like, what the fuck did you give him? And he told them it was a Vicodin, and they were all like, no, that's not no fucking Vicodin, like, whatever. And all I remember is them like arguing. I don't even remember them leaving, right? Like, like, all I remember is me dozing in and out of consciousness the whole time, and all I remember is in my head I was fighting to stay awake so hard. I mean, I've never had to fight that hard to stay awake in my entire life. I've never had to fight that hard for my life. At the time, I had no clue that I was fighting for my life. Thinking about it now just blows my fucking mind, because, like, I could have died. I could have died. I've had a cancer scare before, right? Where, like, there was a bunch of lumps throughout. All my lymph nodes were inflamed and swollen, and I had a bunch of lumps everywhere. And I still got those lumps everywhere. My lymph nodes will never be unswollen from that and whatever. But it's like, so I know what it's like to think you're going to die. But to be in a moment where you don't think you're going to die, but yet you could have died, just blows my mind. It's just, I don't know. Don't do pills, for real. Like, that shit is not fucking cool. Like, it's not fucking cool. Like, it's more not cool that there's fucking fake pills going around. That's bullshit to me. It's more fucking not cool that humans are so fucking stupid that we use fentanyl and carfentanil. Like, that's the most retarded thing any human has created. The human that created fentanyl, I know it wasn't his intention to whatever, but it should have immediately been put in with the high poisons of the world. It should have immediately been classified next to fucking niacin and fucking, it should have been easily, well, ricin, not niacin, but, and like, it should have easily, cyanide, it should have been classified right next to cyanide. It should have been classified as a fucking poison. Because I sniffed half of a pill and I was almost dead. I've had people, like, I know of people who have sniffed 25% of a pill and have died. Like, I personally know 8 people that have died from the opioid epidemic in the past year. 1 year. 8 people that I know, that I've went to school with, are dead. And I did this, like, this fake pill, I ended up doing this before this big-ass opioid epidemic hit. It was almost like when the fentanyl first hit my town, because this was like 2013. I'm pretty sure this is 2013. 2012 maybe, like somewhere around there. 2012, 2013. And it's like, just thinking about it, it's just, I'm so grateful to be alive. And I'm so sorry to the people that are not. And the people that are battling with opioid addiction and all this, like, it's ridiculous. I don't know. I just never realized how I could have died. I just could have died that day. And I'm so glad that I didn't. But it took everything in me to not die. Because it took everything in me to stay awake. Like, I've been meditating for a long time. I've done DMT hundreds of times. Now, this is before DMT, but it's like, I have a very, very, very strong mind. You can break my fingers. Like, if somebody was torturing me, I'd fucking get killed, because, like, I'd be the crazy guy that's like, that doesn't hurt. Pain isn't real. right? Like, I don't know, I'm fucking crazy. I have a really strong mind. You can bring me through hell and I'll fucking find a way to turn hell into fucking heaven, right? You can send me into the darkness and I'll light some fucking candles in that bitch and bring light there. But, so I don't know, I literally fought to stay awake, not realizing I was fighting to stay alive. Yeah. I don't know. It's insane thinking about it, because I don't know what I did. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was fentanyl, because, like I said, I've done Percocets, I've done Vicodins, I'm pretty sure I've even done an Oxycontin, and I've done, you know, a few other opioids. Like, I'm pretty sure I've done morphine before, and codeine, and, you know, it's like, but this was different. It was so much more intense. It was so much more knock you out. It was so much more numbing. It was so much more something. But it's not what I expected, and it's not what I was looking for. And it definitely, after that, I mean, I stopped using pills after that. I stopped sniffing pills. I stopped doing shit. Well, for 2 years. Sadly, I ended up sniffing a couple pills here and there in like 2015. But after that, I haven't done another pill again. And today, I don't even take Advil, right? Like, I'm strictly all plants right now. I mean, if I have a life-threatening situation, maybe then I'd take something. But, like, for right now, I use Kratom every single day. I smoke cannabis every single day. I use Blue Lotus once in a while. I use other plants and extracts once in a while. But that's my thing now. Plants. But yeah, this is the story where I could have died. And if that happened, all the videos that I have, all the knowledge I've gained, all the experiences I've went through with psychedelics would have never have happened. None of it. I would have never had, I would have never been in the position I'm in right now. I wouldn't know, my daughter wouldn't know me like she knows me, right? Like, I don't know, it's just mind-blowing to think that that moment literally could have changed everything. It could have ended everything. So, don't use opioids. Don't use fucking goddamn fentanyl. Don't use fucking heroin. Don't use, like, stay the fuck away from that dumb fuck shit. For real. Because it's not worth it. It's not worth your life. And to be honest, it wasn't even that fucking euphoric. I mean, to me, weed and kratom feel way better than fucking any other pill opioid I have taken, right? It feels cleaner, it feels more natural, and it feels honestly more euphoric. Like, people are so obsessed with opioids, right? They're so like, people are like think that opioids are the thing, but heroin, fentanyl, carfentanil, fucking, morphine, Percocet, Vicodin, they're not that euphoric. They're not as euphoric as everyone makes them claim. They're really, I mean, I don't know, even though I was in the overdose stage, it wasn't even that euphoric. It was more, I was more scared. I was more, I don't know. It was almost as euphoric as sleep, and sleep's not that euphoric, right? I mean, sleep feels calming and it feels good, but it's like, it's not that euphoric, and it was just damn sure wasn't worth it. And if I died that day, I would have been looking at God like, that shit was not fucking worth it. Like, that took my life, but that drug wasn't even that fucking good. That's fucking retarded. It's fucking stupid. That fucking drug is fucking stupid. Just putting that out there. Sorry for all the F words. It's just, literally it just pisses me off because people are selling these fake things as other things. And that's bullshit. Because you're killing people. And I could have been one of those people. But luckily, I'm not. I'm here making this video about it. So hopefully, You don't go out there thinking you're sniffing Vicodins, thinking you're sniffing perks, or thinking you're taking this or that. Like, stay the fuck away from that shit. Just light up a goddamn plant and smoke it. Just fucking throw a plant in some tea and fucking drink it. Like, yeah, it's so much safer that way.